another video in my garden. Today we are going to take a look at the Oncidium living under the shade of my magnolia tree. I have placed them here last May. Here they get mostly shaded with some direct sun for brief periods depending on the path of the sun during the day. They are planted in pots, and the pots are surrounded by bromeliads, which provide protection from the wind and add extra humidity to the Oncidium. Another advantage is the pop of color that the bromeliads give to this place when the Oncidium are not in bloom. Apart from the pots on the ground, I have 2 more hanging from a tree branch, and 5 Oncidium that are mounted, also hanging from the tree. Let's take a look at the plants I've here. We are starting with my Miltonia sunset, which is in bloom. It has been in bloom for several weeks already, and I almost missed the mark. As you can see, some of the blooms are getting spent, although there are still a couple of buds to open. This orchid is blooming from 3 spikes. I love this orchid, which is a cross of Miltonias with Miltoniopsis, hence the name Miltonia. I am a bit disappointed with this Protonia because I don't see a spike yet. However, although this has bloomed in the summer in the last couple of years, it used to bloom in the spring, so it must be one of those orchids that blooms when it feels ready. So let's wait and see what happens. This is a Miltonia. It's a cross of 2 species, Blanty with Morelliana. I bought it last year as a cutting, and it was mounted on a piece of wood. The piece of wood, however, started to rot, and so I decided to plant it in this pot, and it seems to be doing better. I bought this one last spring, and it had beautiful red flowers, but no identification. It seems okay though, but still adapting to the new conditions. This one also was in bloom when I got it last spring, and it is loving it here. Look how many growths it is producing. But it is normal because this is an Oncostel catatante. It grows to a very large size, and it grows very long spikes. This is Oncidium Titanium Treasure. I bought it 2 years ago, I think. I bought 2 small plants of the same, different colors, white and yellow and pink. The blooms are small but fragrant and long-lasting. There's a spike starting already. They are growing beautifully, and they bloom for a long time, from late summer to late winter. This one is Colmanara Black Pearl, also one I bought in the spring, growing well with 3 new growths. This other one here is Bealara Marfitch Renaissance Coral. I've had it for several years, and it blooms at different times of the year as it pleases. Last blooming was late winter, early this year. On this mount, showing a beautiful new growth, is Oncidesa Sweet Sugar. It should bloom later this year in the fall. This one here is Wilhelmara Shelob Mariel, which is a cross of Bretonia Shelob with Rinconia Mariel. This is a vigorous orchid that looks very similar to Bretonia Shelob Tolkien, however with shorter and larger sepals and petals. It has 4 new growths, and so far 2 of them are growing spikes. If it happens as in previous years, 2 more spikes are to be expected. I've divided it very often in the past, otherwise it would be a much larger plant. Coincidentally, I have a very similar one. If not the same cultivar, I got this one recently as a gift from a friend. These newly open flowers show the beautiful colors, although others are getting spent. But there are 2 more spikes, and these flowers are long-lasting. Therefore, this plant is supposed to brighten this space for many more weeks. Here, Miltoniopsis Alexander. The plant does not look very strong, but for my surprise, it is producing a spike, although growing it very slowly. Over this side, I have 2 Oncidopsis Nelly Eiler. This one is the pink type, and I bought it only last spring. I'm very happy to see it's growing to new growths. This other one is the yellow type. I bought it 1 year ago. In the meantime, it grew a new growth and a spike. But I don't know what happened, because one day the spike was growing well, and the next day the tip was gone. Maybe some kind of bug ate it. The joys of growing outdoors. This is my white Oncidium twinkle. It seems happy, and it's growing better here than it did before. This is the red twinkle. I almost lost it, but it seems to be recovering now. This is another Oncidium titanium treasure, also starting to spike. And this is another piece of the same orchid, which is the only one mounted directly on the trunk of this tree. I still have not noticed any roots attaching to the trunk. We will have to give it time, I suppose, and see what happens. And so this is the update of my Oncidium project. I'm quite happy so far, although the orchids show the problems of growing outdoors, like the loss of spikes or the chewed leaves beaten by the wind and the occasional sun strikes. The downside of having plants under the magnolia tree is that this tree sheds a lot of leaves, not only in the fall, but all year round. Oncidium need a lot of humidity, and I water them every day. I fertilize every time I can come with the bottle spray. But when I cannot do it, for lack of time, I use the hose with the mains water. And as a compensation, I am using also some slow release fertilizer, which are the tiny colored balls you probably have noticed on the surface of the pots. As a consequence of the high humidity in this area, we can see this cute plant growing well. It's commonly called baby steers. I love this plant, and I am thrilled that it is filling the spaces between the flagstones on the pathway. Over this side, my cymbidiums seem that are doing well. I hope they bloom better this year than they did last time. And the Dendrobium nobile growing well too. This one is my nobile species. Last year, while it was in a pot, it grew many keikis, and it did not bloom as profusely as in previous years. I have the strong belief that it was due to the fact that the night temperatures last winter were higher than normal. They were very close to day temperatures. Turns out nobile species require nights cooler than the days, and cooler than we had. Nobile hybrids are not as demanding in that regard, and they bloomed as they should. I'm very curious to see what happens next winter. I had planted one of them on the palm tree, but it did not go well. The place was too windy for it, and the orchid was also getting too much direct sun. So I moved it here. On the contrary, this side of the olive tree does not get any direct sun as it faces north. That's why I didn't plant it here in the first place. But amazingly, this dendrobium is doing much better here in the shade. Well, it has lots of light coming from the sides anyway. As you can see, many nodes have cakeys. Most of them might not grow to full potential, but I will be happy if at least one or two grow to adult size. Before we finish, I want to show you something at the end of the porch. My dog Iris has been waiting here for me. She's leading the way now. Iris is wearing a surgery recovery suit because she was recently neutered. She's fine though and recovering well. And what I wanted to show you is my Dendrobium kingianum. This orchid is a winter bloomer, and she already bloomed early this year with a very generous blooming. And now it's her growing period, and she has already grown several new canes. But for my surprise, look here, she has two spikes with buds and blooms. The leaves look crap because they were hit by spider mites or some kind of similar pest. But they have been treated, and these leaves are free of the pest, but they will never recover from the damages. That is the way it works with orchids. We have to disregard the damaged leaves and concentrate on blooms. Look, this spike grew downwards. This has never happened before with this orchid. I mean, not just a spike growing downwards, let alone flowers at this time of the year. Quite happy with it. And this is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to have you here again next time.